Here's an article entitled, France Sends 10,000 Troops Across the Country Protecting Hundreds of Jewish Sites, and this is in the Washington Post. Now, I'm not a rocket scientist, but I did pay enough attention in my history classes that were taught by high school gym teachers or high school athletics, guys like football, basketball coaches. I paid enough attention in those classes to know that troops fanning out across anywhere is not a good thing. Okay? Let's move on. In Paris, the soldier wore green camouflage, a red beret, and the serious expression of a man at war as he stood sentinel outside the heavy iron gates of a Jewish school in the heart of Paris on Monday. Not long ago, he was fighting militants in foreign lands, but now, and for the foreseeable future, he has an assignment far closer to home. Oh yeah, he does. Protect the hundreds of Jewish children, some as young as age 2, who scampered about Monday behind walls whose Star of David etchings could make the building a prime target for attack. Oh boy. And this director, Elizabeth Athar, it says, states, "I'm glad the soldiers are here, but the fact that they're here means something is very wrong. It shouldn't be this way." What do you think? Let's move on. Yet for France, and especially for the country's 500,000 Jews, this was the cruel reality wrought by last week's terrorist attacks, one of which left 4 people dead at a kosher grocery store. Okay? There was the attack, and now you get the response. You see how this works? Oh boy. Let's just go on down. And it goes on to say how these guys have been, fighting in foreign lands. I mean, they've been fighting in wars. Think about this. This is like American soldiers fighting in foreign lands. Where have American soldiers been? Well, they've been in Iraq, they've been in Afghanistan, they've been in wherever. They don't, supposedly not Syria yet, but everywhere else, we've got troops, it seems. We've got troops all over the place. So, let's just substitute this in there. Not long ago, the American soldier was fighting militants in foreign lands. But now, for the foreseeable future, he has an assignment far closer to home to protect the American people, some as young as 2. Who scamper about here and there. Okay? I mean, let's just substitute American soldiers into that sentence. I'm glad the soldiers are here, but the fact they're here means something's very wrong. This sort of thing shouldn't really shock anybody. And this is what happens when your world is becoming more totalitarian. Many people wrote about this and tried to warn people a long, long time ago. Whether it was George Orwell writing 1984 or Huxley's book, Brave New World, which are really, pretty interesting books. Other people tried to warn, Bill Cooper tried to warn people about things as best as he knew them. So, it just seems to me there's something going on here. I don't know if it's the beginnings of a European banking collapse, which will, of course, eventually get to the United States. I think it's always been my understanding that the EU would have a problem before America ultimately had a problem with our currency going down or our economy collapsing or whatever. So I think that maybe we're on the verge of seeing some sort of a collapse over there. I don't know. I know that the banks are insolvent because they had to, stimulate them back in 2008. The banking system was like it is, well, let's back up to 2008 when you had the oil at whatever it was trading, and then that led into the 2008 crisis. Well, that scenario is happening pretty much all over again, isn't it? Only what's coming out of this sell-off in oil and this rundown in the price of oil is be far worse than '08. And it's going to hit much, much, much closer to home. And why is that? Well, because this time around, they're not going to have bailouts. It has been the plan, and it has been discussed in like the G20 meetings, and it's been supposedly in the Dodd-Frank Act, and they're planning to bail in. That's what is in store. So when the banks begin to go down, the bail-ins are right around the corner. Is the banking system going down in Europe? I have no idea. Why else would there be this terrorist attack and then all these people coming out, this 3 million march or whatever it is? It was the unity of millions marching in the streets against terrorism. And after you got that kumbaya moment, oh, let's just hold hands, oh, then you have the military marching out all over your country. And that's how it works, you see. There's the crisis or the event that takes place, the terrorist attack, and then there's an oh, kumbaya, kumbaya, and then the troops fan out across all over the place. You see, it's supposed to feel good. We're supposed to sing kumbaya and at the same time look forward to martial law. You understand how that works? Just saying. But let's just, good grief, go on down. Oh, great. Says the troops' presence would continue as long as the threat exists. Well, World War III is on the horizon, so I'm thinking the threat is not only going to exist, but continue to exist for the foreseeable future. And if they're successful in creating this one world order with a totalitarian dictatorship and a one world religion and a one world currency and all of that stuff, you can just get used to seeing a boot up your ass forever. So you can kiss your rights goodbye. I don't know. That's just kind of how I see things. Unbelievable. I'm not going to ramble much more about this. It just, I guess, just amazes me to watch this go on and to see this happening again after so many people sit around and say, never again, never again, never again the Holocaust. And yet we're going to do it again, probably on a level that's never ever been seen. There'll be some sort of an event over here, terrorist event, cyber attack, or both, or all of the above, or, it could be anything. I've often thought terror and cyber attacks would be the way to go to cover up a banking collapse and a banking holiday and all that business, or your currency collapsing or whatever. So, I don't know. I think that, the times are going to get interesting. And I just this country and its political system and all of that, it's beyond help. All they can do is print money and just live to see another day until the whole darn thing goes down. And it's going to. And we've let this go for now 7 years further than we should have ever let it go from 2008. Whole thing should have just corrected right there. The too bigs to fail should have gone down. Unbelievable. Unbelievable times we live in. But anyway, enjoy the boots up your ass. Have your water filters, have food, have, a way to support your family, a way to protect your family. Not only from, thugs in uniforms, but from, people who are just, flat out going nuts. Meth heads. Have a good one.